Hello everybody, Mr. Schultz here. We're going to cover our 4 standards we're going to be going over for the next couple of weeks. We have expressions and equations for 8th grade. The first one we have here is analyze and solve pairs of simultaneous linear equations. That, for example, could be anything such as anything that has ax plus by is equal to c. Another way this could be written out is if it looks like slope-intercept form. So for example, y equals m times x plus b, where m is going to be the slope, and the b, which is normally written as undercase b, is going to be the y-intercept, where it hits the wall. So if it can be written like this, with 2 variables in an equation like this, then we can figure out if these 2 lines will touch, never touch, or they're the same line. All right, our next equation and expressions or expressions and equations standard for 8th grade, Unit C, is understand the solutions to a system of 2 linear equations in 2 variables correspond to points of intersection of their graphs, because points of intersection satisfy both equations simultaneously. All right, so just like in 8th grade when we're solving equations, there's going to be 3 different answers. There's going to be no solution, infinitely many solutions, and 1 solution. It is our job to figure out where that is. So let me share you something I have with Desmos right now. This right here is an example of 1 solution. This point right here satisfies both the red line and the blue line. So this is the solution. The 2 other examples I gave were this: 2x plus 3y is equal to 6, and 2x plus 3y is equal to 12. In this situation, you understand that, wait a second here, these are no solutions, because the red line will never touch the blue line because it is parallel. We're going to come back to that in just a second. And finally, here's an example of infinitely many solutions. Although they look different, if we were to isolate the y in the red line, we would get this answer in the green. These are the same equation, but written just a little bit differently. This is in standard form, where it's like ax plus by is equal to c. And this is in slope-intercept form, y equals negative 2/3 x plus 2. In either case, this would be infinitely many solutions because they're the same line, same linear equation. All right, so expressions and equations, standard C 8b. Solve systems of 2 linear equations in 2 variables algebraically and estimate solutions by graphing the equations. So estimate by graphing. And we're going to solve the system algebraically. Now, algebraically, there's going to be 2 ways we solve. So I'm going to write solve algebraically. There's substitution, and there's elimination. Now, when it says solve by graphing, estimate by graphing, what it means is, hey, if you graph it, see where they touch. And that's going to give you an estimate of what the answer is. It might not be totally correct. So that's going back to this right here. Let me share you the screen. That's going back to this, where you're like, okay, it's going to be roughly about 2. I would, like, if you're doing this and you're doing it by hand, you'd say, okay, it's around 2 and negative 1.5. Now, if you actually use a graphing calculator, it's 2.2 and negative 1.6. So if you said estimate and said it's around 2.1 and negative 1.5, that's a rough estimate. Now, this other way we have, it says solve simple cases by inspection. So with inspection, we can see that we have 3x plus 2y. 3x plus 2y is equal to 5. And we have 3x plus 2y equals 6. We can tell right now that this equation right here, they will not have a solution, because not 3x plus 2y, if it's equal to 5, if you add them again, they can't just equal 6. And if we were to isolate and solve for y, we would get y is equal to negative 3 halves x plus 5 halves. And we get y is equal to negative 3 halves x plus 3. And so we'll see that they'll have the same slope, so they will be parallel. So they will never touch. But we see if they'll have infinitely many solutions. No, they don't have the same y-intercept, so they don't share any points at all. So this standard has 3 different ways to solve. Solve it algebraically with substitution elimination, estimate using graphing, and then finally just look at it and inspect it and be like, okay, it makes this, well, I don't have to do any work. I understand that these will not ever be equal, so they'll have no solution. Or, hey, look, it has the same slope, or it has different slopes, so they'll touch. We'll go deeper into this later. All right, this last standard here is pretty basically broken down to its barest minimum is, hey, solve real-world mathematical problems. If it has two linear equations with 2 variables. So right here, when we have Ben is 4 times older than Adam and is also 6 years older than Adam, we have 2 variables. We have B is equal to Ben's age, and we have A is equal to Adam's age. So we can write 2 different equations with 2 different variables, A and B. So we know that Ben, B, is going to be, well, it's actually in red, so let me write in red. B is equal to 4 times Adam's age. All right, cool. That's it. That's the equation. Ben is 4 times older than Adam. So Ben's age equals 4 times Adam's age. The next one we have is Ben is 6 years older than Adam. So Ben is equal to Adam plus 6. Now, substitution, we can actually say, okay, if Ben is equal to the 4a and Ben is equal to a plus 6, the problem we have is, hey, we didn't make sure that there's only one variable left. So what we're going to do is we're going to make 4a equals to a plus 6, because if Ben equals 4a and Ben equals a plus 6, then we understand that 4a will equal a plus 6. This is substitution. So if I know that's equal to that, and that's equal to that, then boom, 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 I can substitute the answers. And now we can just simply solve for a. So if we minus a on both sides, I get 3a equals 6. And then, hey, wait a second, I'm not looking for what's 3 times Adam's age. I'm looking for what's Adam's age. So I divide by 3, I get Adam's age equals 2. But that's not the answer. If there's 2 variables, I need 2 numbers. So a is equal to 2. Now I pick which one do I want to plug it into. Let's plug it into here. 2 plus 6 equals 8. Cool. I go over here, let's see if this works. 4 times 2 equals 8. Check. Both are correct. Done. And that's a quick this is the quick run through of these 4 standards. All right. Looking forward to teaching with you this week. Bye.